5 stories. 5 crimes so twisted they will burrow into your mind and refuse to leave. I dare you to watch until the end without looking away, for what you are about to witness might just shatter your perception of reality. In 1995, a late-night bus in rural Brazil embarked on its usual route, a mundane journey through the quiet, shadowed landscape. But this night, the ordinary dissolved into the utterly inexplicable. The bus, its driver, and every single passenger vanished without a trace. Hours later, the vehicle was discovered. It sat abandoned on a desolate stretch of road, headlights still piercing the oppressive darkness, engine idling with an eerie hum. There was no sign of a struggle, no blood, no forced entry. Just an empty bus, a ghost of its former self. Yet the silence was deafening. Witnesses from nearby isolated farms reported seeing strange, pulsating lights in the sky that night, moving with unnatural speed. Were these just local superstitions, or something far more sinister descending from above? Investigators, baffled by the lack of conventional evidence, found only fragmented clues. A single discarded shoe near the bus, a faint metallic smell that couldn't be identified. Theories spiraled from organized crime syndicates to mass abduction, even whispers of extraterrestrial involvement. To this day, no bodies have ever been found. The families of the vanished live in a perpetual state of agonizing uncertainty, forever trapped in the shadow of that midnight disappearance. What truly happened on that lonely road? Was it human malevolence, or something beyond our comprehension? But if you think a missing bus is strange, a void where people once were, imagine a murder that happened in a room no one could enter or leave. A crime scene sealed from within, yet a life extinguished. Tokyo, 2003. The oppressive summer heat was matched only by the growing unease emanating from a small, nondescript apartment building. Neighbors began to complain of a foul, sickly sweet odor, a stench that spoke of decay and despair. Police were called, and what they found defied every logical explanation. The apartment door was locked from the inside, bolted and chained. Every window was sealed shut, latched from within. It was an impenetrable fortress, a tomb. After forcing their way in, they discovered the body of a man, lifeless on the floor. There was no sign of forced entry, no broken glass, no splintered wood. And most chillingly, no murder weapon was present anywhere in the sealed space. His phone lay beside him, its screen displaying a final, cryptic text message. "It's here." What "it" was, no one could say. Was it a person, a presence, or a premonition of his own demise? Forensic experts were utterly baffled. How could a killer enter, commit such a heinous act, and then vanish from a hermetically sealed environment? Was it a trick of perception, a hidden passage, or something far more unsettling, something that transcends the physical realm? The case remains unsolved, a dark stain on the city's meticulous crime records. The apartment itself has since been abandoned, its windows dark, its silence heavy. Locals whisper of a lingering curse, a malevolent presence that still resides within its walls. What force could commit such a perfect, impossible crime? An unsolvable murder is chilling enough, a phantom killer leaving no trace. But what happens when a killer turns themselves in after decades, confessing to a forgotten sin, and no one truly knows why? In 1987, the quiet, unassuming rhythm of a small American town was shattered by a brutal act. A young woman was found murdered, her life extinguished with a violence that shocked the close-knit community. The investigation stalled, leads dried up, and the case slowly, agonizingly went cold. For over 30 years, her killer walked free, a ghost in the shadows. Then, in 2019, the impossible happened. A man, ordinary in every way, walked into a police station, his face etched with a strange mix of relief and torment. He confessed to the murder, a crime committed decades ago, a secret he had carried in the deepest recesses of his soul. His reason? He claimed he had been haunted by the victim's face in his dreams every single night since that fateful day. A relentless, spectral presence that offered him no peace, no escape. Was it the crushing weight of guilt finally breaking through, or something more profound, a supernatural reckoning? DNA evidence swiftly confirmed his guilt. a perfect match to samples preserved from the original crime scene. Yet his motive remained shrouded in a terrifying ambiguity. He claimed he didn't even know her name until after the murder, a random act of violence driven by an impulse he couldn't explain. Psychologists and criminologists still debate the nature of his confession. Was it a genuine breakdown of a tormented psyche, a desperate plea for release from an internal prison? Or was it something else entirely, a manifestation of the victim's spirit, demanding justice from beyond the grave? The true horror lies not just in the act, but in the inexplicable force that compelled him to finally speak. But while this killer came forward, offering a twisted form of closure, our next case is about a family that simply vanished, leaving nothing behind but questions and an echoing silence. In 2011, the idyllic tranquility of a rural French farmhouse was shattered by an absence. An entire family of 4, parents and 2 young children, vanished overnight, leaving behind a scene frozen in time, a chilling tableau of interrupted life. Dinner plates were still on the table, half-eaten, as if they had simply risen mid-meal and walked away. The television hummed softly in the living room, broadcasting to an empty space. The family dog, a loyal companion, was found locked in the bathroom, without food or water, whimpering in confusion. There were no signs of a struggle, no forced entry, no indication of a hasty departure. It was as if they had simply dematerialized, absorbed into the very air around them. The police found no clues, no notes, no trace of their destination. Weeks later, their car was discovered hundreds of miles away, abandoned in a remote parking lot. Yet, forensic analysis yielded no fingerprints, no DNA, nothing to suggest who had driven it there. It was a ghost vehicle, a final, mocking clue. Theories abound, each more unsettling than the last. Was it a meticulously planned abduction by a shadowy organization? Were they forced into witness protection, their lives erased for their own safety? Or did they simply choose to disappear, to shed their identities and begin anew, leaving behind a trail of heartbreak and unanswered questions? The truth remains elusive, a gaping void in the lives of those left behind. What dark secret could compel an entire family to vanish without a trace? And if that's not unsettling enough, if the idea of a family simply ceasing to exist doesn't send a shiver down your spine, our final case features a killer who may still be out there, a voice from the darkness who once sent police a message they'll never forget. In 1979, a wave of terror gripped the UK as a series of brutal murders left communities reeling. The police were desperate, chasing shadows, their efforts yielding little. Then, a chilling package arrived at a police station, an anonymous cassette tape. On it, a distorted, gravelly voice taunted the detectives, a chilling monologue delivered with an unnerving calm. The speaker described intimate details of the murders, facts only the killer could possibly know. It was a direct challenge, a perverse game played by a mind steeped in darkness. The tape became a focal point of the investigation, played and replayed, analyzed for every nuance, every inflection. Despite a massive manhunt, a nationwide effort to identify the voice, it was never matched to any suspect. The killer remained a phantom, a disembodied voice echoing from the abyss. Then, as abruptly as they began, the murders stopped. The terror subsided, but the mystery deepened. Was the tape a final, triumphant act before the killer vanished into obscurity? Did they die, taking their secrets to the grave? Or, most terrifyingly, are they still out there, watching, listening, a silent predator biding their time, their chilling voice a permanent scar on the psyche of a nation? The true horror lies in the lingering uncertainty, the knowledge that the voice on the tape could still be walking among us. These stories remind us that truth is often stranger and far more terrifying than any fiction we could conjure. They are not just unsolved cases. They are gaping wounds in our collective understanding, proof that true evil can exist beyond our comprehension. Which of these cases chilled you the most? Which one keeps you awake at night, pondering the impossible? Do you believe in the supernatural explanations, or are these simply the work of human monsters operating with an unimaginable cunning? Share your theories, your insights, and your own unsettling encounters with the unknown in the comments below. Let's unravel these mysteries together, or at least confront the darkness they represent. Don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow true crime enthusiasts, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most unsettling mysteries. The truth is out there, waiting to be found, or perhaps waiting to find you.